Hi there, it's Nicole here from Mama Elephant with a Hexastar Framed Christmas Scene card. This features the Hexastar die collection, brand new for September 2017, as well as a Beary Christmas stamps and dies, and the new Season's Wishes greeting stamp set. So lots of new here today. I like to lay out my product. I've got my die, my stamps, and I'm playing around with different greeting combinations. At this point, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to use. And then I'm going to kind of play around with my die, with my greetings, my stamps, and figure out where I want my little die cut to go. Now, this is a little bit different than a lot of my window scenes that I create, where the window is going to be hanging off the side of the card. I think this is kind of a nice variation on a scene. Lots of white space over to the side, but this interesting shaped window instantly adds lots of interest to the design. Plus, it gives and provides this fantastic place to build your scene. I die cut the Hexastar from a sheet of A2 sized Bristol smooth cardstock, and I got a little adhesive at the top of my panel. I'm using my Tombow mono eraser to get rid of that. This is an invaluable tool. I love the mono eraser because it takes care of little boo-boos here and there on cards. I'm going to set the frame portion aside for a minute. I am using the entire panel. The little cutout's going to be the red from the photos at the beginning of the video, and the frame is going to be the little popped up panel. And I misspoke earlier, I apologize. This is actually Neenah Smooth cardstock. This is the heavyweight Neenah Smooth cardstock. I purposely chose it because you can still blend Distress Oxides especially. You could blend anything depending on how heavy of a hand you use, but I find that Distress Oxides blend very easily on traditional cardstock. So if I don't have to use a specialty cardstock, I don't. I just use my traditional. I spritzed this with water after I inked it with Candied Apple Distress Oxide ink to give a little distressing and interest to that little half hexagon shape. And here's what it's going to look like. Now, while I have my frame out and my inked up hexagon panel, I'm going to choose the greeting from Season's Wishes that I want to use for my card. I've got one chosen here, and I'm going to go ahead and use my MISTI to stamp this to make sure I get it stamped perfectly. I find that I just really rely on my MISTI or a stamp positioner more and more so that I don't have to worry about maybe messing up my inked up background by not stamping it super straight or anything like that. With the MISTI or another stamp positioner, you're able to kind of play with it, make sure it's right where you want it to be, and it just stamps perfectly. I even inked this up twice. I wanted the black ink to really stand out because it is a smaller size greeting. It's a phrase. I used a black dye ink from Simon Says Stamp to stamp this because it's nice and rich black. Once I have my greeting all stamped, I've cleaned that and I'm going to go ahead and put that away. I am ready to stamp my cute little bears from the A Beary Christmas stamp set. This stamp set features lots of fun images to build some really adorable cards. I've got the large bear holding a little baby bear putting a star on the tree, the little bear sitting on a tree stump holding a candle, the tree, and 2 gift packages. So 5 images rather from the stamp set for my little scene here today. Instead of coloring with Copic markers, I decided to do a little bit more of a watercolored look with Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. My images are all stamped on Bristol Smooth cardstock, and this is the Bristol Smooth cardstock because I find that the Zigs color beautifully, blend beautifully. You can see how well that the ink moves on the cardstock. So beautiful. So I really, really recommend this if you want to do any Zig Clean Color Real Brush coloring like I'm doing here. No addition of water for these cards. I like to lay down my dark color and then take my lighter color and blend that out. I like to make sure I clean the tip of my marker off, so I'm kind of in that little scrap area of these pieces of cardstock. I'm cleaning my tip off a lot to keep that kind of clean, because the lighter color picks up the darker color. I'm going to move on to the tree. I have listed the area I'm coloring, the marker number, and the marker color for each thing. So the scarf was just listed. Now I'm doing the tree. The tree is very much in the same colors I used for the scarf. I kind of kept to the same color combinations throughout the design. The bears are in two different colorways. Then the scarves are just alternating, the pom-poms and the scarf part. The gift packages are in reds and greens, and the tree is as well. Very much keeping to kind of a traditional Christmas color palette. I traced around the outside of my tree with my darker evergreen marker, or green I guess it's called, pardon me, and I'm blending it out with light green. Instant shading, instant dimension, plus they just have this fantastic water look. These are water-based markers. I love them. The tree stump itself, same two brown colors I used for the large bear. I've got some bright yellow and yellow markers for the stars on the tree. I'm also going to color the star that the little baby bear is holding with that color combination. The gift packages, again, reds, and blend it out with a pink color for that, lighten it up, but it still looks red. And I'm going to alternate the gift packages as well. One of the boxes will be red, one green, and then just alternate that with the bows with my green colors. Really quick coloring here. Here's that star that the little baby bear is holding. These bears are just adorable. The flame for the candle, also same colors, the bright yellow and yellow. Here's that other gift package. And then I'll move on to the final bear, which he will be colored with the same colors as the little baby bear. Mid-gray and gray tint. So mid-gray first. Go in with gray tint and blend that out. Clean off the tip of this marker often to get rid of any of that darker color that it might be picking up. Some blush color for the cheeks and the inside of the ear. Do the same thing for this other bear over here. Trace around the bear with the mid-gray color. Start blending that out from the darker area with my pale or gray tint rather. Clean the tip of the marker so that I don't transfer any of that dark too much. Blush color for the cheek. The tree stump is going to be brown, deep brown and oatmeal. Same colors that I used for the bear, the large bear. The scarf will all just be the reverse of the scarf from the large bear. So the scarf part will be red and the little pom-poms will be green. And then for the candle, we've got a little dark gray base, and the candle itself will be in shades of red. And I kept it a little bit more pink than red. So I only put a very, very tiny bit of red into the candle. Kept it a little bit lighter. I'm going to die cut those with the coordinating a Beary Christmas dies now. Pop all of these out. I want to lay them out, make sure that I think everything's going to fit now that I have them, the actual image, before I commit to adhering it to my card. I went ahead and adhered the hexagon frame to a white top fold card base using my frame as a guide. Then I placed foam adhesive squares on the back of the frame and attached that to the card. And I will start attaching all of the bear images in the scene with some glue dots. Starting with my tree first, get that in position, and then I can place the bear holding the little baby up to put the star on the tree right next to it. I want that to be lined up perfectly. I think that's so clever and fun. You can use it two different ways since it isn't all one image. So these images are actually inside the frame. Not all the images will be. These two images and one package will be inside. A black glaze pen for the noses and eyes to really make them pop. A white opaque pen is going to add some highlights to some of the images. Little dots on the cheeks of the bears, highlights on the bears, the star. All over, adds some really nice interest to the design and finishes off these cute little characters perfectly. The bear that's sitting on the tree stump is going to be on the frame. It's going to slightly overlap into the hexagon part of the frame. So I'm going to put glue dots on anything that's going to be flat on the frame, and then just place a small adhesive foam square behind a little portion of the bear to help that lie flat. Black glaze pen for the eyes and nose. A white opaque pen to add some highlights to this image as well. And then I only have the two gift packages left. One is going to be nestled there behind the tree stump on the left of the card, and the other one I need to trim down a little bit. I originally just tried to stick it there and it just wasn't working. I think visually it looks a little funny. So I'm going to just pop that off, take my scissors and trim that into a straight line along the bottom so it can tuck right underneath that stitched hexagon frame shape. And then I'll tuck that last one over there to the left. That's going to finish off the scene. It's totally adorable, just like this. I am going to go in, add some glossy accents to a few places, and add a scattering of some pretty pink posh mini gold star confetti to kind of finish it all off. So first, with my glossy accents, I have a fine tip applicator on here. I'll apply the glossy accents to the star at the top of the tree and the tip of the candle, as well as the ornaments on the tree. I think that really adds a lot to them. Keep in mind that the white opaque pen detail is going to completely get lost. I didn't originally think I'd add glossy accents. I do this a lot. You probably have seen it. I will draw on the little highlight areas, and then I decide to add glossy accents. The highlight with the pen just gets lost. I don't know what it is about it, but you won't really be able to see that anymore. It's not a big deal. You could wait till the glossy accents is dried if you want to, and then go back in and draw the highlight on top of that, and that way you'll still be able to see it. Even went over the little stars on the tree with some glossy accents. Part of them are peeking out from behind the package, so I added some glossy accents there as well. Adding little drops of glue throughout the design and using a quick stick tool to pick up those mini gold star confetti pieces and adhere them throughout the card. So a few within the framed area, kind of around the greeting, one down near the tree, and then several out on the frame itself, a couple down by that bear along the left side of the card, and a few up top to help balance it all out and give it that really nice visual triangle. The quick stick tool makes it so easy. They kind of stick to the end of it with some, I think, static electricity. So it makes it easy to pick them up and place them right in the glue and keep your fingers out of the mess. Thanks for joining me today for this hexagon framed up Christmas scene card featuring the Hexastar die collection, the Beary Christmas stamps and dies, and the Season's Wishes dies from Season's Wishes stamp set from Mama Elephant. The supplies I used to create this card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Mama Elephant that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.